Hello! Welcome back, everybody! I am back, and today we're painting the Leviathan Terminator Librarian. Almost said chaplain. The fellow from the Leviathan box. Right here. So what I do normally for these guys, Space Marines, I do a black undercoat, and then I do airbrush Cantor blue all over, and then I'll do kind of like a zenithal spray from the top down with McCraig blue in the airbrush, and that's kind of how I set up all my Space Marine models. It saves a lot of time, just makes things generally easier. So we're starting here. Also, I did not glue him fully together, so I left his arms unattached. So I'm just going to pull those off for a second. How does this arm come off? I don't want to break any pins, so I'll check the build manual. Let's see here. The Librarian. I think it was the first model in this set. Oh, I see. The shoulder pad comes off and the arm comes off of the... Yeah. Comes off like that. So, I may have glued that together. Oh, no I didn't. Shoulder pad looks like it'll come right off, so... Let's pull that off, exposing the arm, and I think the axe I might have glued that one on, but I just want to pop off the chest here, because I'm going to start by actually painting his face, just so I can kind of reassemble this guy and get him back together. I think I did glue the feet down. Yeah, this is one of the first models I put together, and I hadn't fully committed to the no build, or the not gluing everything together. So it should just come apart. Let's see here. Yeah, his torso's loose. Are you nervous? I'm nervous too. I think it may have stuck a little bit from the paint. Just gonna stick my knife in there and just gently move these pieces apart. There we go. The back comes off, and here we go. Looks kind of goofy. But that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the face, and then I'll probably just glue them back together once the face is all painted. Yeah, so let's start with just getting his skin tone down. I'll do that with, I think, Kislev flesh to start. This is pretty thick stuff. This is probably gonna need a couple coats, a couple thin coats. I'll just get some of that on my palette. And add some water. And we'll just go ahead and get started on that. Ever so carefully in his visor here. Now it's not going to fully cover, and that's okay because we're going to do a couple coats. Don't want to do too thick initially. Since I'm doing some detail work, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, while that dries, I think I need to do this little cowl that goes around, so I'm just going to do that in Cantor Blue, I think. Just going to get some of that on my palette as well. Mix some water in there, get it to the right consistency. And just start painting the cowl blue. It's got some tubes and wires as well, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to paint it all blue. Can add more of the details later. Also on the inside of his helm. So I saw what they did with this one, where they kind of have the runes glowing, and I thought that'd be really cool, so I'm going to try to replicate that effect. We'll see if I can pull it off. Always like to try new things, even if it might be kind of tricky or hard. Oh, got a little blue on his face. That's okay. Just paint it over. I'm just gonna also get around the cowl here where the airbrush kind of missed some stuff. I want to make sure that's covered nice and blue. See on his leg here, didn't quite cover. It should dry a little bit darker, hopefully. If not, I'm going to darken this whole thing up anyways, because I want his armor to be nice and dark to really sell the glowing effect. So we're going to darken that up anyways. Okay. I'm actually going to switch to a smaller brush for his face. Give me a little bit more control. And I'm just going to apply a second coat of the Kiss of Flesh. You know, he's kind of got some cooler tones to his face because of the blue. That's okay. I might use that. Go around to the other side while the other side dries. Alright, might just need some more Crystal Flesh on my palette. Getting a little thin. Alright, I think it's ready for another coat. I'm gonna mix some water, get some more paint on my brush, and I'm gonna come right back in with that Kiss Little Flesh again. Just want to make sure that I get a nice, good, even base coat, and then work from there. Alright, I like that. I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm gonna mix up some, I think, Cadian Flesh Tone. It's a little bit darker. I'm gonna make this a glaze consistency, really thin. I'm just gonna put it over the face, and it's gonna work its way into the cracks and crevices. And I'm also gonna get some Pallid Witch Flesh, I think. Build up some highlights on the skin. Sorry, just mixing my paints. I don't have a vortex yet. One of these days. Alright, so we're gonna take the Cadian Flesh Tone. Get it on my wet palette. Just a little bit. Still using the small layer brush. I'm gonna mix in water. We want to get it kind of like almost like a wash consistency, something that's real thin, but not too runny. There's a sweet spot. It's kind of hard to explain. Just kind of takes a little practice. This might be good. We'll see. Haven't done this in a while. I'm just gonna get it in the darker spots of his skin and his face. Just add a little variation in tone. You know, I might want a more stark contrast, so I think I might have to actually bust out the Seraphim Sepia, or possibly the Rakarth Flesh Shade. Both are very good for skin. I'll find my shades. Reichland Flesh Shade. Did I say Rakarth Flesh Shade? Rakarth Flesh is a different color entirely. Yes, it did. Alright. Yeah, so I'm gonna just quickly air dry this with my blow dryer. Alright. Reichland Flesh Shade. Put that on there. I'm gonna also apply this with my small layer brush. It's real targeted. It's very potent. Just gonna get it in cracks, by the eyes, under the nose. Also along this lower cheek there, kind of close to the cowl. Up along the edge. There we go. That's looking nice. Alright, so then while that is drying, I'm gonna get some pallid witch flesh on my pallet. Where's the man's body? It's right here. He's not fully glued together, so that I can get to his face, because his head doesn't come out, as it kind of gets covered up and it's hard to paint. So he's in a sub-assembly. Alright, so I'm gonna mix some pallid witch flesh on the pallet. Going to also grab a dollop of the Kislev flesh, get a mixture of that and the pallid witch flesh going. About 60-40. And I think we need a small brush for this. This one's got a nice tip, so maybe I'll use that one. And where are you? Really fine detail. Reaper miniature brush. Like the brain dude from Ant. No, it's not quite like the brain dude from Ant-Man. He's still a Space Marine. He's just not all put together right now. Alright, so we're gonna very carefully get the eyes. Steady hands will prevail. One eye. My delay. How bad is my delay? To answering the chat? Or is the stream okay? Little brushes, they dry so quickly. Alright, got the eyes blacked out. I'm going to go back to my small brush and just quickly get some of that wash back around the eye, because I kind of left the socket a little bit, the lighter color, so I'm just going to stain that. Yeah, YouTube's got kind of a... I think, yeah, that sounds about right, actually, 30 seconds. See if I can maybe make that quicker. Alright, so I'm gonna get some Kislev flesh and start building up some of the areas on the face that were darker from the washes and blends from earlier. Just keeping the darker areas on the lower sides. Gotta be very subtle with this, because a little little dab will do ya. Just trying to build up a variation in tone here. Alright. I'm gonna pull on a lighter color now, the Kislev Flesh and Pallid Witch Flesh mixture I made. Just gonna do a couple spot highlights here. On the edge of the nose. On the brow. Corner of his cheekbones. Should we make his eyes blue? We'll make his eyes blue. Got that Cantor blue out. So I'm just gonna very carefully get a little bit of blue on my brush. Gotta dot some eyes before this paint dries. Dries so quickly. It's not perfect. Try to fix it. Go in with some repair work on the upper eyebrow. Oh, much better. It's very subtle. Alright, so let's do the facial hair, his beard. What color should his beard be? Should we do something gray? Make him kind of look sagely, like a wizard. Let's do that. I'm gonna do Administratum Gray, I think. And then we'll darken it up with some Dawnstone. Got a mustache. Gonna paint that mustache. Also a little bit along the bottom of the cowl, just to kind of look like he's got some beard sticking out. Then got touch up on the cowl, got some skin on there. Quickly do that. can get his lip with Gideon flesh tone. There we go. You know, I'm not gonna use Dawnstone on the beard, I think. It's, or the mustache. It's pretty subtle. So I'm gonna just take some Hallowed Witch flesh and mix it in with the Administratum Gray I have, just to get a lighter tone. I'll just do a little bit of highlights with that. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. See if I can get it in camera here so you can see. Base of our Terminator Librarian. I like it. He looks mean. He looks alive. Ready to pop some heads. Okay, so next, I think... Oh, let's see here. Well, he's got these, like, glowing orbs on his helmet. I think what we should do is just make the armor all around just a bit more dark. So I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. Wrong way. There we go. I'm gonna paint the armor spots that I missed with the airbrush with Cantor Blue. So along here on the box. Just kind of fill that in so you don't see the gray plastic. Then we're going to darken this all up with some shade, I think. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly air dry this. My favorite hobby tool. All right. So I'm gonna go over the whole thing with Drakenhof Nightshade. This is a dark blue shade paint, and it's just gonna darken all of the armor. And then we'll kind of build it up with some glowing effects. I'm just going to go over all this with Drakenhof Nightshade. That nice dark blue shade over all his armor. Now, I'm not going to do this with all my Marines, just my Librarian. His armor kind of looks a little bit darker to begin with. I think that's because they have the cool like, glowing effect, which I'm going to replicate. So, in order to do that, we just need to bring the base color down a bit so that we can get a more stark of a contrast. We start adding light. Just going to go all the way around with the Nightshade. Going to also try to get his cowl and be very careful not to get on that base we spent all that time just painting. Go all the way around. And we'll get on the body here. I try to touch up the inside of that Panther blue. Let's come back to that and shade the rest, I think. I noticed there's some spots I missed. Airbrush, and quickly get that. Gonna go on the inside of that with Panther blue. Darken that up so there's no more plastic showing. I'm gonna set that one aside, let that dry, and we'll shade the rest of this. So shoulder pad. Stone bolter. Alright, then we're going to come back around to the body here. And nightshade this all up. My goal is to paint this guy completely tonight. We'll see. Must have been too long. I love these new Terminator models. They're really cool. They did a good job. Can't wait to get the Terminator squad also painted up. Alright, so then back to the chest piece. Just gonna finish shading this. Alright, and we'll let that sit for a little bit and dry. And I'm gonna check my reference picture so I can plan out the glow effect. Let's see here. Temple Guard Blue, I think. Thousand Suns Blue. And you need a white. White Scar, where are you, White Scar? White Scar. Oops, keep bumping the camera. Okay. So I think we're gonna do glowing color, the OSL in Thousand Suns Blue, and then kind of bring it in with Temple Guard Blue for like an edge highlight for closer to the source of light, and then mix in some White Scar on top of that. And we'll hopefully see it all come together. It's nearly dry over here. I'm going to start preparing some colors on my palette and go from there. This is a dual shake method. Alright, colors are set on the palette. So I think for starters, go with the medium layer brush and this Thousand Suns Blue. Zoom in a little bit. See what I'm doing. I'm just gonna kind of go by this brush is too big. Small layer brush. I just need a little bit on my brush, not a lot. Focusing on the lines, kind of spilling over. Really get that glow kind of look going on. kind of doing a panel lining, chunky highlight along the outside. Yeah, it's starting to look like it's glowing. Let's continue this train of thought, this course of action. We'll see how it turns out. I'm kind of totally winging this. I'm not following a specific recipe or anything. I'm just kind of looking at some of the box art and you know, using what I have in my paint rack, what I know, to try to replicate some of these effects. A lot of runes carved in his armor. So I'm just filling those in. Just kind of very carefully doing a chunky highlight around all of these rune markings. It is kind of looking like it's glowing. I think we might be alright. This might be a little tedious, but he's a character model. Don't mind putting in extra effort on characters. Get all around the runes. There's armor. All these lines that are supposed to be glowing with energy. Very, very careful. Just following the lines of the armor. Edge highlighting both sides. Just so that it looks like it's glowing from all over. So this one with the runes, I'm pretty much just kind of going over the whole thing at this point. Part of another reason why this works is because we made the armor nice and dark. So it really gives us a nice contrast. Kind of observing people making glowing OSL kind of painting. Usually goes from extreme darks to extreme lights. That's usually when the effect looks the best. Alright, we got one shin done. on that first pass there. I think that'll work. I like it. Alright, so let's just kind of go around and do the rest. I'll try to get this other shin. It's a little trickier because his legs kind of tilted back. I'm just gonna go around and do the same thing on that back leg. It's okay if this is a little sloppy because this is supposed to be like the glowing energy coming from the runes, so it's like light kind of bouncing off shadows. The armor itself. And I apologize if I'm not talking as much because I am very concentrated right now. Just trying to get all these runes colored in. The highlight. And you need a brush with a good fine tip. After a while they kind of start to wear out. Brush soap helps keep them longer, but they do all eventually wear out. I've been using Reaper Miniatures brushes lately. I've been impressed with the tips on them, also the price. They're... oh, my neck. The price is pretty reasonable. It's like a little bit cheaper than Games Workshop brushes, and they seem to be of better quality. Really nice fine tips on them. I have two Reaper Miniatures brushes, the 30 and size 0. So if you ever see those at your local game store, I would recommend Reaper Miniatures brushes. Nice brush that doesn't break the bank. Alright, so we got both of the shins done. Get these side panels here. So I'm kind of just going right in the crack too because I'm going to have to color those in with the lighter blues anyways to make it look like that's where the light is coming from. Just going to get all these lines. I could do the trick where you use really thin down enamel paint and just dip the white in the cracks, but I don't know if I want to try that. Last time I used enamel paints, it kind of didn't do what I thought it was going to do, and you're kind of stuck with it. It doesn't come off. You can't really strip it like you can with water. base paints. So, but it's great for like plasma effects. But just gotta be careful with them. A little bit harder to control, I think. Glowing codpiece. Glowing chest piece with a belly. And he's got some of these kind of orb things on his helmet. You can make those glow as well. So got this one on his forehead. Color that. I'm also going to try to get his cowl around there. Kind of build up that glowing blue. Paint these bumps too, and a little area around them. It just looks like I'm painting sloppily right now, but it'll help sell the glow effect. He's got these power terminals right here on his back, so I'll get those as well. Kind of like a power sword. Got a little bit of cast light. Yeah, just kind of go all the way around those power orbs. Yeah, I'm just gonna check my reference picture one more time to see if they did anything. Nope, they did not. Okay. Wasn't sure if those were hinges on the side here, or if those were supposed to be glowing orbs. Oh, I see another orb I missed. Just gonna go all the way around with the Thousand Suns blue. Throwing a little cast light there for some OSL. I'm having some fun with this one. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the chest and do the same thing. Just gonna do a chunky highlight around these cracks. I got some light orbs, or power orbs, I don't know what you want to call them. I'm gonna paint those as well to finish this Excuse me. Alright, let's color these in. Get some of the armor around the base of it, just like the ones on the body. Make it look like it's glowing. These orbs. Not too bad. Got some stuff on his chest. Let's get that in. It's a little trickier to paint. Not attach anything, I was holding it in my hand. Whole lot going on here. Let's figure out what color metal this is going to be, if it's going to be silver or gold. These runes all glowing. A lot of light coming from his chest. He's got two nipple lights. I'm sorry, that's what they look like. It's in the lore, look it up. Alright, let's do a quick look at this piece of... Okay, so he's got a book. You know what? The book is probably going to have some glowing runes, isn't it? Let's paint the book brown. I'm going to give that a base of Rhinox hide. Doing a neutral color book. Looks like it's all covered in a case, so I'm just gonna do Rhinox hide. I'll make it glow. Once this all dries. Ooh. Keep bumping into this camera. It's so close. It's right over my shoulder. And I'll even do the straps on Rhinox side too. It's okay because all the attention is going to be on the runes anyways, so. And the seals and the buckles. Seals in the buckles. Just gonna get some brown up on that book. Not a spell book. Alright, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'll come back to it. Make it glow. So we'll do the other hand while we wait for that to dry. Alright, back to my small layer brush. Now he's got like some interesting stuff going on with his hand. He's like holding an amulet. And in the box art, they kind of have the hand glowing, which I think looks pretty cool. So we're gonna do that too. Just gonna get the undersides of his fingers. I'll leave some of that dark blue in the cracks this time. We're just gonna build up the light with highlights and edge highlighting. So it still looks like there's a lot of shadow going on. We're gonna make this strap also brown oxide, I think. Just gonna carefully paint that. I'm kind of annoyed because I had a Librarian Terminator, the old model. I had just finished painting it, and then they had the promos for the Leviathan box, and I was like, oh look, a new Terminator Librarian. I just finished mine. The new one looks really cool though. Oh well. It's just kind of funny. So. Alright. Gonna make these lines glow blue. Panel highlight along the lines with the blue in the crack. got these runes on the shoulder pad. Same treatment. Focus on the letters mostly. Try to keep this in focus. The camera. Okay, and we'll do the other shoulder pad. Clean off my brush real quick. I'm just kind of wiggling the brush around there, working it into the rune symbols and the surrounding areas. Not worrying about being too careful there. It is glowing after all. Oops. I will be more careful though for these more well-defined lines along the armor. Just gonna work along the lines. That chunky highlight. Chunky highlight is your friend. Get on the glow. Okay. Oh, we got the book. Gotta do the book. Throw the book at him. Same deal with the book. I'm messily painting the runes on the book so that they glow past the lines. Kind of fun being messy for the sake of the effect. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to work in some lighter tones. So we got this Temple Guard blue, and I'm going to switch to my Reaper miniature brush just because it's got a nice tip to it. And mix in some of that Temple Guard blue a little bit of Thousand Suns. So it's just a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna go in and really focus on the cracks specifically. On some of the more important areas. I'm not gonna go completely all the way around with the cracks with this, but just more of the big ones, just to kind of emphasize, like the runes specifically. When I get in there, some of these more interesting lines. Gotta fill in these runes. A little tricky. Just add a little bit more water. It's nice and runny, it'll want to fill in the runes for you. But you don't want it too runny. You don't have any control. But that seems to be a good consistency for filling in the cracks. Yeah, I'm liking the way that's looking. Do a little bit on this other leg, specifically the runes on the upper shin. Some of these more visible, larger cracks. Very subtle, but you can see just the slight buildup of intensity and the glow. And I'm not quite doing it everywhere either. Just kind of picking out some spots here and there. Some of the more predominant but deeper cracks. And on the orbs. So this time I'm just going to be painting directly on the orb itself, not so much the glowing area around it. So you don't want to overdo the OSL, the object source light. Okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. move on to... we'll do the book real quick. I guess there's only glowy bit on this hand. Running a little low on my mixture. Let me mix some more. It's almost straight Temple Guard Blue. It's just a little bit... Temple Guard Blue with just a little bit of Thousand Suns. Just to dial it back just a little bit. And... set these symbols on the book. Chest. Just gonna touch the chest orb nipples. These orbs on his head. Yeah. Ooh. I'm liking this. This is looking real nice. It's turning out better than I imagined. Just gonna get those runes on. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Huh. Yeah, just kind of working it in those cracks. Specifically the cracks, trying not to get where I did the glow. Otherwise kind of undermine all the work I've done. You see the build-up in intensity. And on his hand, oops. Gonna add a little bit of glow on the leather strap of the previous color, and then bringing in our light mixture. Just gonna start building up the fingers and some key areas on the glove. Not everywhere. I want to still be able to see some of the darker blue from before. It's all about building up the contrast and pushing it. Alright, so then this last shoulder pad, I'm gonna get in the crack. focus on those runes, make those glow. Okay. It's coming along. It really is. So now, next step is I'm gonna do it again. This time I'm gonna mix in some Temple Guard blue. With some of that white scar I pulled out earlier. You're gonna want a real fine tip brush for this one. It's gonna be real light too. And I don't want to do it everywhere, but I do want to pick out some key areas. So starting with this leg, I'm going to do it in the runes. See how that almost looks white? Trying very carefully just to stay as much inside those rune shapes as possible with this. So on the palette, this just looks like a nice light sky blue, but when you build it up on the model, it comes out looking almost white. It reads the eye as white. It's kind of like how when you're painting white, if you kind of aim for a light gray, it reads as white. I'm just going to use this to pick out a couple. So each time I'm picking out less and less of the recesses to emphasize with a lighter color. So that's how you kind of make it look like there's light kind of escaping out of the cracks, because it's not happening everywhere, but it's happening in a couple spots here and there, and it's just kind of drawing your eye. Okay. See, that was a little too messy. But I was able to mostly clean it up with some of my Cantor blue and Thousand Suns blue. That looks okay. I think I saved it. So I'm gonna try to get these runes a little bit more. Down on the other leg. Making this mixture really watered down. Kind of just flows right into cracks very easily. not as neat as I'd like. I think I'm gonna just dial that back with my Thousand Suns blue along the kneecap here. Gotta stop bumping into this camera. It's these headphones, they stick out too far. Right. Let's just continue on and move around the model. Get this spot on his belly. Screw in here. Very subtle, but it's coming together. Yeah, it's amazing how just you get a little sloppy. The whole thing just comes crashing down a little bit. Just gonna try to neaten that up. Okay, neaten that up a bit. That's why I like having a wet palette. You can keep all your colors that you're working with ready to go for the most part, nice and moist. So you can quickly fix some mistakes. Just touching the edge of these orbs. Get a little blue glow on his face. That'd be risky. Do it very, very, very thin. You know what? That looks bad. Gonna try to spread it with some water. Yeah, that didn't turn out. That's okay. We'll fix it. Just gotta touch it up with some of this skin tone. Oh, you know what? Just the right amount of blue. It's blowing off and hitting his face. Nice. I salvaged it. We saved it. Alright, we'll do the same for the rest of the armor. These orbs on his head. Let's get this crack on the helmet. Apologize if this is not quite in frame, but I just really gotta get this one right. Alright.
Perfect.
Focus on the runes. Getting impatient. Just going a little too fast. Just gotta keep it in the lines. Yeah, if you can keep it in the lines, that inner glow, it really sells it. I love the way that looks. Alright, so let's get these runes on this pauldron. And just a couple key areas. And on the hand, can't forget the hand. Right. Oh, wow. Okay, that was intense. Let's zoom out just a little bit. That's zooming in. There we go. Okay, so we got the glow effect on the power armor all painted up. That looks really cool. Got his face painted. Also really cool. I think maybe I should try to assemble a little bit. Yeah. I like it. Alright, what's next? What's next to paint? Oh, we could do some scroll work, we could do some yellows, some cords. Oh, he's got the axe. I'm looking at my reference right now. Some gold. Yeah, gold skulls. He's got the bolter. still got regular power armor highlights I gotta do. Yeah, let's get some other base colors down. We'll start with the yellow, I think. Got those chords. Alright. I'll use Everland Sunset. May have mentioned this last time. My Marine assimilator. But this color is great for yellow. It covers really well. Huge fan. Alright, so we can get some of that on there. So the classic Terminator Librarian yellow chords. So we got these kind of poofy ones. I don't know what you call those. They have like the corrugated in them. It's not the ribs. So I'm gonna go over the ribbed chord with yellow. This may take 2 coats. Yeah, this is turning out real nice. I'm really happy with the glow. It's not like perfect. It's definitely the best kind of glow effect that I've been able to do. I haven't done a whole lot, just because I normally don't try to do OSL when I paint, because it's so easy to screw it up and overdo it, which I often see when people do it. So I almost kind of play it safe and don't try to do OSL unless it's something that's really intense, like this, and I have a good reference to go from the box art, so I figured I'd give it a shot, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It's very cool. Work my way up these tubes on the chest. You know, this is a lot easier to paint in sub-assembly, that's for sure. Would not have been able to get that detail on the face otherwise. Another great thing about these starter set boxes is they're all push fit, so it's a lot easier to do a sub-assembly, because you don't have to glue it all together. You just push it together, it'll stay, and you can peel it apart later. I like to glue it all though when I'm done. So it doesn't come apart. You get nice seam filled in. Just being ever so careful not to screw up all that cool glow work I just did. Alright, so I'm going to come back to the first hand, do a second coat there. And come back to this, get another layer of yellow on there, make it nice and vibrant. Don't want to see any blue underneath. The librarian tubes. There we go, yellow. And then I think we'll do some red tubes next. He's got this one coming out of his head. You know what? I think those would look cool if they're yellow. We're gonna do those yellow real quick as well. Yellow paint on there. And I'm not in frame, my bad. There we go. And I think last color I'm gonna do on the stream is just the red chords. We'll do that in the Fiston red. Really good red. Covers so well. You can thin it nice and thin. And get these other wires going to his head in the Fiston red. And then we got this wire underneath the yellow one. Going to his bolter. Be very careful not to get it all over the yellow. Maybe I'll clip some of the stream and make it short. Get this cord colored red. And the other one. All right, got the red wires, yellow wires, some blue armor. I think we will finish this guy up next week. We're gonna do the metal, we're gonna do the purity seals, we're gonna do the edge highlighting, the underglove, the base. I think that should be enough to fill an entire stream in a week. Also the weapon, you gotta do the weapon. It's gonna look real cool. But yeah, the glow is a little tedious, but I think it looks really cool. I am so excited. I can't wait to get this guy all complete and finished up and on the table one day. All right, so if you tuned into this after the fact, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I do this every Monday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, gotta try to do this weekly and just keep painting. And yeah, you know, hop on chat. We can talk about the channel. We can talk about the hobby, painting tips, you know, whatever, anything and all things wargaming. So you all have a lovely evening and a happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.